Hey everybody! Welcome back to Clerical Terror! Northern Lion plays Dark Souls 2. Oh, please tell me I have no freaking souls. Okay, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna crunch the soul of the pursuer. Cue thousands of negative comments and angry comments about how I've probably deprived myself of picking up one boss item that I will probably never use. I seriously, sincerely don't use the boss items, except for one that shows up a couple of new games into it. But I'm going to take this opportunity to level up one more level of Dex so we can get a little closer to using that Drangleic sword. And again, this is very much a expedited, shall we say, playthrough of Dark Souls 2. I do believe that I have some Sublime Bone Dust that I can burn here. But in the PC version, this is the first video that I've done post-release, so there's a very real chance we could actually get invaded. I'm kind of excited for that. I have never been invaded in my entire Dark Souls 2 career. Now, I just beat the Ruin Sentinels, so a lot of people are probably going to be saying, why don't you go continue down with that path, and to spoil it, yeah, there is a great soul boss down there. And I may at some point, well, I definitely will at some point, but first things first, I'm going to go to Huntsman Scopes, because I like to kind of get to the late game bosses, and then, or not late game bosses, but the end path bosses, and then tackle them all in my particular order. Basically, here's what I'm thinking. The bosses that are in the interim period, Ruin Sentinels, Skeleton Lords, Prowling Magus, those kind of bosses are pretty easy. Who's the other one that I'm trying to think of here? Royal Rat Vanguard. Those are all relatively easy at the level that I'm at so far, with the equipment that I have so far, for sure. But the bosses that come afterwards are a little bit more tricky, so it's better for me, I think, if I take out those early bosses, and then because we can fast travel, we can tackle the later bosses just a little bit later, once we've gotten a little bit more, well, basically once we've got the Drangleic sword equipped. With the Drangleic shield, we could probably take out the last sinner very, very easily, but we also aren't doing very much damage with our Haidonite sword right now, so we'll see. Now, it might be a little bit dark here as we enter Huntsman Scopes, but Huntsman Scopes is a very small area if you choose not to attack the enemies that you actually have to, or if you choose not to go for the optional boss, I should say. So we've lit that bonfire. We don't really need to rest. Huntsman Scopes is actually probably my least favorite area of the, like, paths that lead up to, you know, eventually going through the Shrine of Winter, the legitimate way, the canonical way, if you will. And we can do a little bit of Great Lightning Spear here, just to, or not Great Lightning Spear, just Lightning Spear to take that guy out. And we don't have Poison Moss. Rusted Coin temporarily boosts luck. We'll just pop a life gem quickly. This is not the most convenient way to do this. But, you know, it's not very convenient to get poisoned either, so that's my bad. Life gem will mostly counteract that poison, and we'll just try not to get hit too much more as we make our way through here. We're pretty close to the next bonfire, so we'll Estus up now that the poison is done. We'll run through this area right here. And a couple of bloodstains. Interested to see how those people die, but I think I know. They probably died because this area, for whatever reason, has the greatest archers of all time. Everybody in Huntsman Scopes was fucking Robin Hood, apparently. Alright, if you are gonna fall, that makes my job a lot easier. Then we'll just trigger this guy, and he'll break out. And we'll do a little bit of that, and maybe one more. That hit the wall, but it was still totally fine. So this is, for my money, one of the shortest, like, bonfire to bonfire areas in the game. We just lit that bonfire a second ago. And then right here, inside of this room, is another one. We'll rest at this one briefly. Still have a decent kind of path to go before the boss. And this bonfire is so goddamn close together with the one prior to it. And the next one is a real pain in the ass to actually get. One of the weird kind of difficulty spikes in Dark Souls 2. So we'll take out this guy. Not a problem. This area is a little bit annoying, though. Torch-bearing hollows, annoying enough on their own right. But then we also have, let's see what we got here. Prisoner's Waistcloth. Probably not going to end up using that because I already have a pretty dope cape, if I do say so myself. And we're going to kill some of these poison moths because otherwise they're going to be a big pain in the ass. But yeah, we'll deal with this guy as well. Lightning Spear, pretty useful. But we'll probably hit him with, like, one Lightning Spear and then just do the rest of our damage the old-fashioned way. He inflicts bleed and actually takes out a great deal of our stamina there. Lucky backstab, and that'll finish him off, I guess. Not surprised that I see more bloodstains in this area as well. Alright, Poison Moss, that'll be useful. The next area we'll tackle after this, in all likelihood, will be the Grave of Saints, which is the Royal Rat Vanguard path. If you want to join the Rat Covenant, that's the way to do it. We need to save a few souls. I always forget, but you do need to save a few souls to actually go down that path Because in all likelihood you need the graceful cat ring, whatever they call it, that allows you to take less fall damage. There we go, and a little bit maybe overly cautious, but I'm going to crack a life gem here quickly. I played a lot of the PC version of Dark Souls 2 so far, so I'm feeling relatively confident. There we go. Feeling relatively confident in my chances of doing fairly well here, but this is one of the kind of longer stretches in the early game here, which can be really, really scary if you're not necessarily tough enemy ahead. I sort of disagree with that. Joy, alright, fair enough. What do you get if someone upvotes your message again? I think you get a little bit of passive healing or something like that in Dark Souls 2. I should really get the soapstone if I don't have it already and put some messages down. But most of the messages are just like constant trolls, are they not? Like just people that are like, hey, you know, try close quarters combat with rear or something like that. So, yeah, I've been playing a lot of the PC version of Dark Souls 2, which is not my way of bragging, just my way of saying, you know, on the NLSS a couple days ago, I beat like probably 80% of the game within 3 hours, so I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now. And to be honest with you, we might want to roll with the Magic Mace instead of the Hydonite Sword. Magic Mace is pretty darn good, especially as a... Actually, maybe it doesn't matter what our Faith stat is as a Cleric for using Magic Mace. Maybe it matters what our Intelligence stat is, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Got Cursed, also not a big deal. Not as big of a deal as it would be in Dark Souls 1 at least. And we'll kill the last remaining skeleton here. Pretty good. Bit of a tricky area, but we've already gotten... well, let's just take a look at Magic Mace here. That would give us extra damage, less lightning damage, but extra magic damage. The only question is whether or not the lightning damage is compensated for by the faith boost that we would get. Let's see. You attack me. Oh, we should back up a little bit. Ooh, not that far. That was pretty close. This is another reason why this area is so frustrating to fight in. Now, the mace has, as you can see, the worst range of all fucking time. I just got killed by that dude. I am not very pleased with myself right now. Tell you what, we're probably going to use the Hydonite Sword, because the mace is a ticket to failure, I suppose. Feel pretty bad because I didn't die at all, I think, when I came through this area on the stream. A little bit zonked today, too. That might be an effect here, but... or a consequence here. But I don't want to bore you with my, you know, lack of sleep last night. You're here for entertainment. I'm going to try to entertain you. That death was not like a, oh, no, how did it, oh, Dark Souls 2, you're so silly. That was me being a dumb idiot, so I apologize for that. If I end up having more deaths on this series than I had in my, well, not blind, but less focused playthrough, I'm going to be very disappointed. Considering I've beaten this game now, 5 or 6 times, deaths like that feel pretty unfortunate, but they do still happen. You know, Dark Souls 2 is still a difficult game, especially if you're not going to mess around with summons and stuff like that. And I do want to keep our lightning spears because there is an NPC that I will have to fight, but that's okay. So, this is why, like, I'm always pissed off when I die on that area of this level, because I'm just going to come down here and use an Estus Flask. I'm doing worse at this area every time I come through, apparently. But I'm always pissed off in this area because that one bonfire is so freaking close to... or like the first bonfire and second bonfire are like 45 seconds apart by running. Whereas in this area, you have to go fight like 100 enemies and get another key. And in many ways, I should stop complaining, because that is probably like proportional with the difficulty between bonfires in Dark Souls 1. But Dark Souls 2 has spoiled me a little bit by, you know, putting bonfires so close together that I'm like, ugh, there's like a 5-minute stretch here that I have to redo if I mess up. Also, these motherfuckers, those bandits, attack so quickly. Now, I don't think anyone's going to drop down there, so we can probably just run across. So there is a bonfire inside of this, you know, kiln here. I don't know what you'd call it. It's like a clay hut or something like that. But we need a key in order to be able to open it. I don't think I got the key earlier. I did not. It's much, much further in, unfortunately, for everybody involved. Alright, so skeletons. I want to save my lightning spear if possible. I don't really mind getting cursed, but I should be able to stand far enough away to not get cursed. Good practice for Nishandra, I suppose. And just be cool. Skeletons attack pretty quickly as well, but we should be faster. Alright, Nightman, it's you and me. Just wait up a second. The Necromancer maybe doesn't respawn if we die in this area? Yes, I know there's a skeleton behind me. What the fuck? He parried and riposted me while I was just minding my own business. That's weird. Well, it's not weird. It's probably totally normal. Just irritating. Seriously, I'm not pleased with myself in my play in Huntsman Scopes so far. You're done? Okay, I'm glad to hear that. We'll crack a life gem quickly because I want to save these Estus, or this Estus, for our inevitable fight against Unstoppable Rowena. I forget what her name actually is. Now, I believe that this is just a dead end. And, you know, this is... there's a way to get in there. I don't know what the way is, though. This is probably why this is my least favorite area of all the early game areas. I'm just god-awful at it, as you can see. Probably use some lightning spears to make my life a little easier here. Yeah, come across the bridge, motherfucker. Alright, one hit to a kill is way easier than the nightmare I was putting myself through earlier. And these guys are seriously, like, crazy good archers. They also have poison arrows. Should be a... yeah, dude's gonna come through there. Ah, there we go. So, I think my secret for these guys, or my tactic on these guys, is going to be... just make sure that you attack before they attack. Normally you block first and then make it work that way, but these guys, I think it pays to be a little bit more aggressive. Bad play so far, but that's okay. Getting back in the groove a little bit. There's our souls back. It's a decent number for now. I don't really consider souls that important, even though the game is called Dark Souls. Whenever I say souls aren't that important, people are always like, what are you talking about? You need souls to do so many things. It's true, but... you know, the most important thing to your success in Dark Souls 2 is your skill. After your skill is your equipment. And then after your equipment is your levels. Yes, you do need to level up to use some equipment. No question about it. That's very, very important if you want to succeed in Dark Souls, especially if you're a relatively new player. That being said, you know, levels... and I think Epic Name Bro said this first, and I'm probably stealing it from him. But levels are a means to an end. I'm gonna actually use some... oh, no, don't leave it. Use it. I'm not human. Why can't I use the humanity? There we go. He said levels are a means to an end, so it's not like a normal RPG where you're like, oh, the most important thing for me is like buffing my strength stats so I can do more damage. Yeah, that can be important, I agree. And you may disagree with this, and that's totally fine as well. You're entitled to your opinion. This is just my experience with a lot of Dark Souls 2 so far. The equipment is vastly more important, and after that, you know, souls are easy come, easy go. You need souls for something, just beat a boss. Can't beat a boss? You don't need more souls to beat the boss. It's not like an extra 2 points in vitality are going to save you for the most part. Just, you know, practice the boss a little bit more. I know this is like a common thing to do, but I've played with the summons a couple times now, and I'm getting really annoyed with like summons who are quite clearly fighting the boss for like the first time trying to practice. I mean, I get that you gotta, you know, humanities, the human effigies are limited. And you want to, especially when you lose health for every death if you don't have the Ring of Binding on, or, you know, most deaths if you do have the Ring of Binding on. I get that. That being said, still, it's like, the number of times, and you saw me fight the Pursuer, I'm not necessarily great at it, but I can do it by myself. But the number of times I've been like, hey, let's try to get through the game a little bit faster, so I'll summon some help for the Pursuer, and then somebody has just come and smashed me in the face with one of those ballistas, is, kind of stunning. But maybe they're just trying to troll me. I don't know. I'm not I know the Dark Souls community fairly well. And I'm not like get good, like a stop leveling Dex type guy. That being said, help me help you. Help us help each other, you know? We can all make some positive stuff happen here. So there will be an invasion. The invasion is merciless Rowena, maybe. Now, we're just gonna chuck some lightning spears over here, and we'll probably hit her with like a few of these. You know what? We can actually kill her with these if we want to. The problem is there's a boss fight like right in the next room. That's an easy way to handle that though, but honestly, she's probably more difficult than the boss fight. So we're actually gonna use an amber herb here, and it's not necessary, but this will restore 3 of our spell uses. Sometimes it restores 4, I think. I seem to remember that. But for now, we're going to have a fight. We could maybe summon somebody. But I would rather just handle it without summoning, because I don't want to get bone-fucked by bone wheel skeletons. This is Skeleton Lords. Very easy boss fight. Definitely like lower tier difficulty in the game. That's not to say I haven't died on these guys before. Have, many a time. But it is to say I shouldn't die on these guys. So we'll save our Estus, because we may need those for the bone wheel skeletons. But we'll... Oh, I should wait until the other skeletons have spawned. And we'll just kite them over here. Basically, if you didn't watch the earlier series or you haven't played the game for yourself, Skeleton Lords are 3 kind of like, you know, low HP bosses. And when each one of them dies, they summon a different type of enemy. So the first skeleton that I killed on the far right there summons like skeletons with shields. And these are the same ones that we fought in that Huntsman Scopes Hell that I was in a little earlier. That worked pretty well. The second one that I will kill, in all likelihood, will summon more heavily armored skeletons, but there's less of them, so that's the trade-off there. Careful. And the third one will summon the almighty bone wheel skeletons, which of course are the most annoying of all. But if it's only them to deal with and we have like a ton of lightning spears, that's all that matters. So typically, easiest way that I've found to handle this fight is, if possible, take out the skeletons before you take out everything else. I'm doing really a piss poor job right here. Just not a good episode, all things considered. The skeleton is also doing a real shitty job of actually, like, getting close to me, which is unfortunate, because I do need him to die so that I may live. Okay, so there's 2 skeleton lords left. Where's Lord number 2? I only see 1. Why do I only see 1? There must be a second lord here somewhere. Please tell me my game didn't, like, glitch out. Oh, there he is. He was just hiding behind there. Now, I forget which one is the leader. I think the one with the weird staff there is the leader. So we're just going to shield. I could lightning spear a little bit, but I think it's not necessary, so we'll just go to town. Typically, by this point, I would have the Dronglaic sword. Guess I've, you know, kind of misused some of my resources. Guess we'll just handle it this way. We'll hit him with at least one of these. And then we can just run up and finish him off with, like, a 2-handed attack. Like that. Alright, so please don't be bone wheel skeletons. If it is, though, I do have the lightning spears necessary to make this work. So he's going to summon some skeletons out of the ground. At some point. Oh, there they are, finally, okay. So there's only going to be 2 of these. Oh, never mind, there's 4 of them. There's actually exactly the same number as the other skeletons. I did not know that. That's fine, though, if we just back away. Hit him with some heavy attacks where it hurts. That's pretty good. That fire's not going to do too much. And there we go. I'm going to pop another life gem. I know we're almost out. That skeleton, he tried to walk out of the door. No such luck, motherfucker. Your time's up. Alright, so he goes for the attack. Sneak in a couple of our own attacks there and do the same thing. Normally, this guy... Oh, I didn't even know you could backstab this boss. That's probably a rarity. Oh, you're not even dead yet. Oh, you are. Okay. Here come the bone wheel skeletons. We'll just lightning spear them if we can. And, oh, I should have done it a little faster. But as long as I take out, like, 3 of them before there's a major threat, I feel pretty good about things. Don't interrupt this attack. Oh, okay. Well, we'll try this guy again. Got him, thank God, and here we go. This bone wheel skeleton should not be that much of a threat. That skeleton lord's down. I should have been able to do that better, but so be it, kind of. We have an exit over here, I think, and this will take us into Harvest Valley. So, been kind of a long episode so far, and kind of a not fantastic play episode so far, but at least I have only died once. That's alright. I've died like 3 times in the series so far, 3 or 4. Not happy with that, but whatever. It's kind of a... I'll admit, I'll be the first person to admit, this is kind of a sloppy run of Dark Souls 2. If you want a comprehensive run, that's pretty clever. I'll give that a little bit of a thumbs up here. Yeah, if you want a comprehensive series on Dark Souls 2, I'm not going to say like, whoop, just wait, just hang out. No, I'm not your guy. This is how I play Dark Souls 2. Play as fast as I can. It's really the worst kind of series. I'm glad to have people watching it. Maybe it's something to do with my self-deprecating sense of humor. That's what I'll tell myself, at least when I cry myself to sleep tonight. But it's the worst kind of series because I'm like, yeah, I'm a Dark Souls 2 speedrunner type guy. Oh, really? What's your best time? Oh, 6 times the world record. 6 times slower than the world record actually is, but I'm pretty good at it, so that's okay. So I'm going to go back to Majula quickly. We should be able to get another boss tackled over the course of this video, though. I like to knock out 2 bosses if possible, and yeah, we won't be able to get that 3rd boss over this video, but soon after. Alright, so can we please finally get to use the Drongleg sword, which is so much better than what we're actually dealing with right now. We need 20 dex. Only 20. Don't need 21. We'll save some souls, because we are going to need that to buy the cat ring eventually. And we can always level up later. I don't expect to lose these souls. Theoretical possibility, admittedly, but there we go. So this is a totally cheesy build. I'll be the first person to tell you that. This is a build that I'd take because it's nice to be a cleric, because lightning spear is a great ranged attack. Beats taking out a bow and shooting like 12 arrows at somebody. But it is a little cheesy. This is like picking up the Drake sword in Dark Souls 1. Made myself nice and green here so I can get poisoned, but that's sarcastic, but I may still get poisoned because the poison's still ticking up. Yeah, I know, lady, it's okay. You got Titanite and all that. The other great thing about the Drongleg sword is that we don't really need to upgrade it. At least not for a while. It would be nice to upgrade it, but we don't need to upgrade it, at least for the next little bit. Come on, don't get poisoned. Nope, there we go. Can't use it. There we go. Alright, that was stupid of me. Actually, while I was back in Majula, I probably should have picked up some more life gems. I've been crunching them pretty fast and furious so far. So be it, though. There's another life gem for us. Oh, I forgot you shouldn't stand so close to the edge. It's not a yes song. And a Titanite shard may end up being useful to upgrade my armor. And we're going to sneak out of here just in time to not die, which is nice. Now, I always come up here and get this item, and I always regret it. Every time I come up here, I'm like, why did I come up here? What a waste of time, just to pick up a 10 hexing urns. Yeah, I actually do end up using those from time to time, but they're not that integral to my success, because I have great lightning spear, so, you know, ranged attacks are not that much of an issue. As you can see, Drongleg sword doing work. Feel bad for this guy right here, didn't even stand a chance. And we'll pull this down. And we actually are very close to our next boss fight. And if Skeleton Lords were easy, well, you know, the next boss we're about to fight, pretty much the same caliber. I have died to this boss probably more often because it has a couple of attacks that are a little bit more devastating. Covetous Demon is who we're fighting next, in case you've forgotten. It has this attack where it removes all of your equipment. That one's a real pain in the ass. But apart from that, very easy boss fight. A lot of people consider Covetous to be maybe the easiest boss fight in the game. Hard to say. I don't know if I disagree. It's certainly, like, it's easier than, like, the Last Giant or something like that, which is the other one that people sometimes tend to choose. Oh, we need 3 attacks here, which is actually a little risky, because he can sneak one in, so maybe if we upped our dex a little bit more, we'd be better off there. Actually, I know that we just got this life gem. I'm gonna pop it right away, though, because we're so close to this boss fight. And be careful about getting knocked off by this poison cloud. That killed me once when I was doing the stream, and I thought it was hilarious, but also I was like, how did I die? Oh, this attack that I've seen all the time but didn't realize had a knockback associated with it. There's another summon sign, but as you might expect, we're not going to need it. Am I over 60% equipment load? I am, so let's take off this helmet quickly. It didn't work. We got time here because he does like an opening animation. There we go. So now we get our roll back. That was my bad, and there we go. So, easy fight. As you can see, Drongleg sword doing serious work here. That hurt a great deal. I'm on top of the Covetous Demon. That's not a position I want to be in. We'll Estus up quickly because I'm an idiot. And then, one of the things that's best to do in this fight if you can, get as far away as possible, and then just throw lightning spears. I know it says it's doing 43 damage. That's a damn lie. Good roll. And there we go. Don't roll over on top of me. That actually does a ton of damage if you're unlucky enough to get caught in it. That one, not so much. It's okay. Do a couple more of these bad boys. Covetous Demon will be nearly dead after this. There are some attacks that this thing has, and you may be, you know, shaking your head in disbelief. But I'm serious, there's a couple attacks this thing has that are a little annoying at least. Please attack. Thank you. That gives me a chance to Estus. Really don't want to die against Covetous. That would be probably the greatest indicator that I am the worst Dark Souls 2 player of all time. Especially given, oh, careful. Given Covetous' reputation as being maybe the easiest boss. There we go. That's an easy one down. Had to use more Estus than I would have liked. Would have very much enjoyed not taking damage. I believe if you knock one of these, like, poison corpses out of the pot, then Covetous will just attack that, so you can just go to town on it without it even attacking you. We'll talk to Lucatiel quickly before we rest at this bonfire, though. Alright. Hey, Lucatiel, how's it going? Thank you for the human effigy. Much appreciated. Alright, cool. So, that's going to do it for this episode. On the next episode, we're definitely going to take out Mytha, and after we take out Mytha, we go up to the Old Iron Keep, and that's going to be where we're going to move on to probably Grave of Saints. But as always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. And of course, if you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And subscribe if you want to see more Clerical Terror tomorrow. There will be more Clerical Terror tomorrow. So as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.